quiet comfort of his suburban home, young Mitch Davis sat unaware that his world was about to shift forever. A car rolls slowly into the driveway. Inside, his mother and her boyfriend exchanged sharp, heated words. Mitch steps outside, breathing in the cool evening air, hoping to escape the noise. Then, out of the shadows, his friend appears. Soon the two young men were speeding down the open highway. They arrive at a dimly lit border town bar. They order cold drinks, but Mitch's friend had bigger plans. For $50 each, he is given free rein to choose as many women as he wants. Mitch nursed his drink at the bar. That's when a dangerous-looking man approaches him slowly. Within seconds, he was violently thrown out of the bar and into the dirt street, his wallet now completely empty. That's when a young man named Jesse approaches. He offered to buy Mitch breakfast. Over hot plates and strong coffee, Jesse soon introduces him to a hardened figure, the captain, a battle-tested veteran whose eyes carries the ghosts of many wars. It didn't take long for the captain to reveal his true identity, the leader of a small paramilitary vigilante group, a shadow force dedicated to hunting Mexican cartels. Without hesitation, he makes an offer that cut through the air like a blade. $5,000 a week. Ride by my side. Mitch steps outside and gives his answer. He was in. What followed was a long, silent drive deep into the Mexican darkness. As they made their way to the captain's hidden compound, Jesse leads Mitch through the shadowy grounds and shows him to a simple bed. Exhausted, Mitch collapses. The next morning came too soon. Mitch stands, lined up with other new recruits. A young man stepped forward, Camarillo, the captain's second in command. He lays down the rules and gives them their first set of instructions. No turning back now. The recruits begin their work immediately. Training, labor, and preparation for the brutal reality that awaits them in the fight against the cartels. During a brief break under the scorching midday sun, Mitch finds himself in conversation with one of the recruits, a sharp-eyed young man named Jack. But the moment of peace was short-lived. When Mitch openly questions one of Camarillo's harsh orders,
"This isn't fucking war. Just digging a fucking ditch."
Camarillo points at another recruit, Paul. Shut him up if he speaks again.
If this soldier talks back to me again, you silence him.
Mitch refused to obey. In an instant, he is beaten down and knocked unconscious. When he finally regains consciousness, he finds himself trapped in a suffocatingly small box prison, barely enough room to move. Hours blurred together in darkness and silence. Hunger sets in mercilessly through the long night. By morning, driven by sheer will, Mitch manages to break free from the makeshift cell. To his surprise, the captain allows him to rejoin the group as they eat. Dirty, exhausted, and starving, Mitch sits among the others, the taste of defiance still bitter on his tongue. Later that day, he goes into the captain's private bunker, determined to demand what had been promised. But when he brings up the $5,000 a week, the captain offers him noticeably less. Forget the original deal. Here's a better one. Whatever we confiscate from the cartels, you keep half.
Whatever we confiscate, you keep half. You go back up to the States now.
Later, he sought out Paul. The two men engage in a long, surprisingly genuine discussion. For the first time since arriving, Mitch seemed to enjoy the conversation. While in a room with the crew, the captain lay out their first mission: intercept and rob a drug runner named Brad. Simple, brutal, lucrative. Under the blazing desert sun, Mitch and Paul are dropped off on a lonely stretch of a dusty street. They set their trap. When Brad was spotted, their plan sprang into motion. They force Brad into their vehicle and zoom off in a cloud of dust. Miles down the desolate road, they pull over under the relentless glare of the sun, demanding Brad's ATM pin. Frustration mount when they tore open his luggage, only to find no drug. In a careless moment, Paul fumbles the pistol. Brad lunges for it. A sharp struggle erupts outside. The gun goes off with a deafening crack. Brad screams as the bullet tore into his own leg. Benito, one of the recruits, quickly rips off Brad's expensive designer shirt. Back at the compound, Benito searches the stolen shirt and discovers a folded letter tucked inside. Unable to read it, he hands the paper to Mitch. Brad's parents had written to express their unwavering support for whatever decision their son made about staying in Mexico. The next day, the crew uses the money withdrawn from Brad's ATM card to purchase several new guns. Later that night, the entire crew heads out to a bar to unwind. It was here that Mitch first met the captain's girlfriend, Alyssa. As the night progressed, Alyssa danced on the floor, and she and Mitch kept stealing intense, lingering glances at each other across the room. The crew heads back to base. They immediately began gearing up for the upcoming mission, putting on whatever body armor they had available, checking weapons, and making final preparations in a focused, determined atmosphere. From a distance, the crew watched a cartel car pull out of a building and begin moving. They immediately trailed the vehicle. Disguised as FBI agents, they activate their lights and sirens, ordering the car to pull over. As they move in to restrain the occupants, gunfire erupted without warning. Jesse gets shot and killed instantly, collapsing on the spot, terminating the cartel members one by one before quickly fleeing the scene, leaving the bullet-riddled car behind. Later, Mitch shares a brief conversation with Jack, processing the loss. He then heads off to take out the trash, where he catches sight of Alyssa washing nearby. That night, Alyssa comes down to grab a drink from the fridge. She was startled to find Mitch already there, waiting in the darkness. Without a word, the tension between them ignited. They give in to their desire and sleep together. The following morning, the captain sat rigidly in front of the television as the news played. Detailed reports filled the screen, covering the brutal killing of several cartel members from their ambush the day before. Later that night, Camarillo, with authority, instructs everyone to start packing their belongings without delay. A new mission had surfaced, and they needed to prepare to move out immediately. Benito reveals a small, compact handgun that he keeps hidden for personal protection. The crew soon arrive in the big city and checks into a hotel. They take time to settle in, rest, and mentally prepare themselves for the dangerous mission that lay ahead. Not long after, the captain specifically requests Mitch's presence in his private lodge. Once Mitch enters, the captain asks Alyssa to leave the room so he could have a private conversation. With Alyssa gone, the captain studies Mitch intently, carefully analyzing his personality, his silence, and the way he carries himself under pressure. The captain then begins another one of his lengthy, commanding speeches. He speaks at length about the true nature of soldiers, their loyalty, their discipline, the weight of difficult choices, and the sacrifices required in their line of work. He looks Mitch directly in the eyes and asks whether he and Alyssa were romantically involved.
You fucking my girlfriend.
Mitch denies it immediately, replying with a sharp, instinctive no.
No.
The crew receive a sudden phone call. Without hesitation, the boys quickly suit up in their uniforms and head out, moving with purpose and urgency. As they drive, the captain's voice comes through clearly on their walkie-talkies, issuing direct commands and coordinating the operation. Camarillo relays critical information, informing them of the exact color and description of the target van they were hunting. Mitch was assigned a specific interception point. However, he finds himself positioned on the opposite lane from the approaching van. With sharp reflexes, he swiftly maneuvers their vehicle, cutting across traffic in a dangerous high-speed turn. Jack leans out of the window and hurled a hand grenade toward the target. But the throw misses, exploding harmlessly away from the van. Paul is struck in the head and killed instantly, his body slumping inside the vehicle. Despite the heavy loss, he presses forward aggressively until he successfully forces the target van to stop. He then moves toward the disabled vehicle with his gun raised. Reaching inside, Mitch seizes a briefcase filled with cash. The next morning, Mitch wakes up abruptly as a cop car pulls slowly into the compound. Police officers began quietly raiding the place. Within seconds, heavy shooting erupts between Camarillo and the raiding cops. Mitch moves fast. He reaches a car. He quickly picks up Camarillo, and together they speed off to collect the captain along with a briefcase full of cash. A rapid, high-stakes chase immediately follows. But Mitch drives with sharp skill and precision, successfully losing the pursuing vehicles through a series of evasive maneuvers. The crew make a quick stop to gather essential supplies. While there, Camarillo reads through new information about their mission. The captain instantly realizes that Benito must have been the one who sold them out. Determined to confront him, he pays Benito a visit, noting that he was the only one who had miraculously survived the raid. The captain then drives Benito deep into the desert and asks him to take a little walk. In a shocking twist, Mitch suddenly draws the seatbelt, using it to strangle Camarillo in the front seat. He seizes the money, disabling the vehicle, and speeds off. The captain gives chase on foot, firing shots after him in rage. Mitch eventually shoots the captain in the arm. Slowing him down, the captain continues trailing Mitch, but he eventually loses the trail after reaching a railway line. Alone in the vast desert, Mitch had to survive with the captain constantly hunting him. He stays on high alert, every sound and movement putting him on edge. Driven by intense thirst, he eventually spots a water supply nearby and rushes to drink, desperately satisfying his craving. But as he drank, the captain, positioned atop a horse at a distance, took aim and shoots him in the knee. Mitch collapses in pain. The captain began one of his long philosophical speeches, declaring that war was just like love because it allows men to truly express themselves. He continues his pursuit on foot, delivering these reflective monologues as a way to distract and psychologically unsettle Mitch. Mitch's bleeding knee leaves a clear trail of blood on the sand, which the captain follows relentlessly. In a desperate stand, Mitch manages to shoot the captain in the stomach, yet the captain, refusing to go down, pushes forward and finally catches up to him. Just as the captain prepares to finish Mitch off, Mitch surprises him with the small handgun Benito had gifted him earlier. He fires, killing the captain. With his enemy dead, Mitch takes the horse and rides across the desert. He eventually arrives at a small store, where he tended to his gunshot wounds and changes into new clothes. Finally, Mitch boards a bus and heads home to his almost perfect family, leaving the chaos of Mexico behind